All right, guys, welcome to another episode. Today, me and Wilma just made a 2-hour drive to a lesser known hidden gem type of a lake. No boats can put in here because you have to paddle through a giant, I would say at least 300 or 400 yard minefield of lily pads. A boat would have, there's no way they could do it. A john boat maybe, but this lake is so far off the beaten path. The nearest town's 20 miles away and it only has 300 people. This is a very unknown place. It is just a small creek that's dammed up. It is a 100-acre lake, and the neat thing is where the dam is down here, which we're going to go to first. Below the dam there's some shut-ins, some really neat granite boulders, and like a smallmouth type looking stream. And then we're going to fish the lake. As far as I've researched, it's just bass, bluegill, catfish, but we're hoping it has some red ears in it. Would be really nice, and maybe a crappie if we're lucky. Today's high temperature is only 82 degrees and it's the middle of July, guys. Perfect conditions. Right now we're going to paddle through this horrible minefield of lily pads. It's at least 300 yards just to get to the real water. And then we're going to go down to this dam and check these shut-ins out. I will turn back on once we get down here to these neat shut-ins in the spillway. So stay tuned. Decided to record us going through the lily pads because after all, it is part of the adventure. We have several hundred yards to go. We're barely scooting along a foot at a time. Definitely not easy. We got these lily pads with flowers. Pretty cool. Look at that, guys. As far as you can see, there's just a little thin path going through it, and then it disappears completely here in a little bit, where we're just going to have to work our way through it. The water's only 1 foot deep. Luckily there is enough gaps in between the lily pads where you can just push your paddle into the ground below you, into the bottom of the lake. And that really helps. When you do that, you move about 5 or 6 feet at a time. The water's getting deeper now a little bit. It's about 2 foot deep. The worst thing that can happen is there's going to be a tree up here somewhere, because there's one right there. We may have to just change our path if that happens. If we get stuck on something, we'll have to take a different route. So far, so good though, guys. This will be the furthest I've ever had to paddle through lily pads. It's definitely a record. The paths don't really disappear. It looked like it did. We keep moving, and that's what's important. We're gonna make it. We're not gonna drive 2 hours for a failure. We're gonna catch fish. We're going to check out these shut-ins. We're going to make today a success after all that hassle to get here. Horrible gravel roads with horrible, uneven, different sized rocks, and where I could only drive 10 miles an hour. This was a very dedicated journey, guys. And I've been wanting to do it for about 2 months, but it kept raining all the time. So yeah, the only way to get to that dam other than this is walk that trail all the way down the lake. About a 2-mile hike. Hey, it's actually getting easier, at least for a minute. Haven't seen any fish yet. I know it has them though. It's gotta have fish. Keeps getting tangled. The paddle keeps getting stuck in them. We're halfway. If we've made it halfway, we're gonna make it, because the water's only getting deeper as we get out. It's probably 2.5 foot deep now. Lily pads can only grow to water up to 4 foot. After that, so you can tell right where they end, that means the water goes down to 5 foot. I'm gonna have to drink a Gatorade after this. Goodness gracious. It does feel hot out here now, doesn't it? Feels hotter than 80. I guess because we're working hard though too, but I feel hot. If we go, oh wow. I can't really get close up. That's pretty neat. It looks weird for a picture, just you, and we're in the canoe with lily pads completely surrounding us. If we go to the left up here, we'll get out sooner. See what I'm saying? We need to go left up here after this tree. It'll cut about 50 yards off the lily pads. It's getting easier now. No, not really. I would say this lake has red ears, just by my guess, but it may not. Oh yeah, we're almost out of it. 30 more yards. I can see lily pads way out there still though. Look at that. The best fishing's gonna be at the dam. Ooh, I see a spot with a bunch of poles sticking out of the water on the right. Look, over there's a bunch of poles in the water. Either old tree, yeah, it's old trees or something. That's gonna have some, if there's gonna be crappie, they'd be right there, some big bass. All right, guys, we have officially made it through the lily field. Oh my goodness. The absolute worst I've ever seen in my life. The water's a very weird color. It's clear, but it's kind of tannin colored. I don't know if it's just the bottom content. I'm gonna see what my lure looks like down in the water, just to see how clear it is. I got chartreuse on. It's really clear, it's just the bottom content, I guess. Yeah, it may end up being what only thing we do any good with is worms. Oh, you got a fish. All right, guys, Wilma, the first fish of the day. Hey, it's a bass. That explains why I've had little nips, isn't it? That may be why I'm missing them. Oh my, first fish of the day, guys. 6-inch largemouth. Barely 6 inches too. Well, I hope they get bigger than that in here. But it's a sign that we know there's at least largemouth in here. At least we know it has fish now, I guess. Goodness gracious. Oh, got my first one. Oh, he got off. No. Hey, it's 2 inches bigger, guys. We just went from 6 to 8. We are on the shallow end of the lake still, though. That's one thing you got to remember. And it is the middle of the day. All right, 8-inch largemouth. Oh boy, we're moving on up. Real scrawny looking too, don't you think? Kind of like like it's real hungry. Surely they're not all like this. No way. Oh man, they look real scrawny. Look, no belly. Like we catch in the creeks where they got some kind of belly. They don't have much to eat or what? Something's going on here. Just from our guess, guys, the 3 fish we've caught have been real slim and flat-bellied. So it's not a good sign on the bass fishery. It could have really excellent bluegill though. Usually when the bass are scrawny, the bluegill tend to be big from my experience, so. Looks like there'd be a lot of fish over in here too. Guys, we are finally at the dam. We've caught 4 bass so far, all flat-bellied, all 8 inches and under. I don't see any small fish along the bank. No signs of a good bluegill fishery either. But we're gonna go down and check these shut-ins out. So at least we have that going for us. See what this is all about. It's supposed to be really neat, so what's going on here, guys? The lake empties out right here and it just turns back into a stream. It goes through it's a dam, but they just have a little narrow opening right here where stuff is allowed to go through. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's definitely some shut-in. I think we gotta go down over there. We can't get over there for this way because that gap. Some neat looking shut-ins right here. Very lesser known. Honey, this is neat. I just seen a big old green sunfish below me there, guys. This is cool, guys. This is cool. This reminds me of Johnson shut-ins right here. Pretty neat. I'm sure if I kept walking, there's going to be a big hole down there that could even hold smallmouth bass, honestly, but it's just too long for me to want to walk down to, honestly. About to see what we got here, guys. Looks like a regular bluegill to me, and it's small. Yeah, not terrible, I guess. Bleeding. Yeah. Change my damn battery again. No, you need these. Finally. I know. Hey, it don't feel bad. Red ear. It's a red ear, guys. The mystery is solved. They are in here. They're not very big, though. At least not this one. That don't mean there ain't big ones yet. We don't know. This is about 6 inches. I'm happy to get anything though. Well, 6-inch red ear. I thought they would be bigger than Miller Lake, honestly, as big as this lake is. So that's why they keep stealing it. red ear's got such small mouths. Channel cat. I can tell by the way it's flipping. Yep. Channel cat. Full of weeds. My gosh. Hey, now we're missing his crappie, huh? And that's going to be the hardest one to catch, especially in the summer. All right, guys. 1 pound channel cat. I knew he felt different as soon as I set the hook on him. Big old belly. Real big belly. Fat. Alright, don't make any sudden movements. Pretty channel cat, guys. It's still got all its spots. I just had one though. I just missed one. I'm gonna get him. Got it. That's not horrible there. Yeah, a little better, isn't it? There may be potential in here. They could just be all different sizes and the big ones could be out in the deeper water. He's a keeper though. That's a keepable one. Still not much bigger than the last one. But it does got pretty red. Horrible. Still not big though. But we do know it's got red ears now. And it's about... Oh, I just had a bite right when I said that. So I was wrong. I just enticed a bite. 100% I did, yep. He's on there, he's on there, he's on there. He's on there, I think. Oh, I missed him. No, I got him. It's big, too. Bigger. Nah, maybe not. Just real pale. He was on there a while, because I can tell by the hook. Still no 10 inchers yet. They're about 7.5. This is... Nope, it's a pure red ear. Never mind. Third red ear, guys. We're getting them to bite better. We're figuring out a pattern. It's just not the size we're after. If I was starving, I'd probably still be starving. Yeah, dude. God, we get it. You want to go free? I don't know. Yeah. What is it? Red ear? Bluegill, that ain't a bad one. That's actually a nice male. That's a nice male bluegill.
Where's that? Can you hunt it me? Far away.
Down. Right there, okay. Alright. I had the fish on again for 3 or 4 seconds. I don't understand how they're getting off. Still not that, they're all the same. But amazing, look how fat they are. For 7 inches, it's really fat. But they just don't get bigger than that. And it's bleeding all over the place. Yeah, and my hook's ruined. I had to cut my hook because I bent it so bad. So I'm going to change this battery and then we're going to go. Alright guys, it's the last hour. So we have decided to throw the crankbait around again and maybe have a chance at a bigger bass or even a crappie. We don't know if crappie are in here yet, but if they are, it's the only thing we're pretty much lacking. So we've caught red ear, bluegill, channel cat, and bass. I don't see why it wouldn't have crappie. It's definitely large enough, but we haven't caught one yet, so we're wanting to see if they're in here. So far, all fish species are on the smaller side, including the bluegill and red ear. Didn't catch anything over 7 inches as far as panfish. Whoa, worm?
Yeah, it's warm.
Bluegill. Red ear. That's probably the close to about the same. Swallowed the hook. Swallowed the damn hook. I'll get a picture of it here in a second. That's your biggest one? Yeah, there is. They're just not decent size. That one's getting there, but it's still not. Right, hold it up for us first before you do that. Let me go ahead and get a picture of you, even though the sun's behind you. Okay. Small. Is that a crappie? Yes, it is. Holy cow. What did I tell you, Wilma? What did I tell you? We're gonna find out if it's got crappie. Guys, we have caught everything that swims in here, and the crappie are nice. Nice. He's probably 10 inches, guys, on the Rebel chartreuse crankbait, just in a random spot. Just going around the entire lake. Hell yeah. Now that's what I'm talking about. I thought I had a little 10-inch bass, man. All right, I like this lake now. That is not a bad black crappie whatsoever. Look at that. It's not bad. Out of all the species we've caught, guys, the crappie has been the biggest one for its kind. All the other 4 species have been undersized. That's a nice crappie. It's not bad at all. It's 10, but it's thick. Swim out. Thick for a 10-inch. Like that. Bluegill. I caught a bluegill on a bluegill, guys. Using a crankbait that resembles a bluegill. And what do I catch? A bluegill. That's funny. That's what hit me that whole time. Boy, he was barely hooked. One hook and it wasn't even penetrated. I reeled him in with just it barely poking in. I didn't even have to. Yeah, the bass are pathetic. I don't get it. How is a crappie that big and the bass are all stunted? Okay, I was wrong. I'm gonna need the things, I think. Maybe not. There's a bunch here, isn't there? Bass. A lot of eagles here, too. I got it without them. Barely. No. Other than that, we did catch 5 kinds. We caught every kind that was in here. So we didn't do bad. It was a success. Peaceful and quiet. Lots of bald eagles. It was like we had our own lake to ourselves. Not one other person fishing here. So, pretty cool. I said, I'm not going to be in a hurry to come back, but I'm definitely not going to not come back. I'm definitely giving it another chance, but primarily for crappie only. The bass, don't know what to tell you there, but they're all 8 inches and flat bellied. The panfish are all a little bit below keeper size. None of them were big at all. And don't know what to think about that, but it is what it is.